Hello and welcome back to Nobody on WrestleMania and to NXT Stand And Deliver out of 10. I'm just so excited for this one. This card looks absolutely great. Happening on Saturday before WrestleMania, a bit of a weird time slot, but kind of works, gets you in a mood for Mania. And yeah, on the pre-show we had Tyler Bate and Chase U defeat the Skizms to retain control of their university. Really nice spot with Duke Hudson, Willie Turn, Willie Won't, and yeah, results in babyface win. So yeah, good stuff. And we got a list intro from Pretty Deadly talking about upcoming matches before we headed for our first match, which was the women's title ladder match. Perez took control and cleared the ring early, but was taken out by a stray ladder. Valkyria then trapped Perez with a ladder in the corner before dropping Dolan on the ladder. Perez and Stratton were on the ladder and Hartwell dropped both. Dolan then cleared the ring and placed Lyra on a ladder before dropping Stark on top of her. Hartwell took down Stratton before Stark came in and hit her with some big moves. Stark then climbed at the top, but Perez dragged her down and hit the pot rocks. Dolan then drove the Chance head onto the ladders and hit a crucifix one before she dropped Valkyria from the top. Dolan then nearly got the win, but JC Jane came in and dropped her in the last second. Stratton and Perez then took each other out, and the Superstars on the outside with some big dives before Hartwell was the only one left and in the ring. She struggled to get out of the ladder before Dexter Lumis showed up and helped out the ladder on his shoulder, and she picked up the win. Index is reunited. And Indy Hartwell is the new women's champion. And yeah, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Really, really good stuff. Great match. Love the ending, which was really good as well. I don't know, I'm so pleased for Indy Hartwell because I've been a fan of her so long and she definitely deserves this. But yeah, at the same time, I'm gutted for Roxanne Perez. I really felt like her reign could have continued. It would have been a mega babyface victory. But yeah, so happy for for Indy at the same time. So it gets 7 out of 10. It was then time for Gallus versus the Creeds versus Tony D and Stacks for the tag titles. Tony and Stacks were in control and got a big double team move on one of the Creeds early. The Creeds then sent them outside and hit a big dive before taking down the Chance outside. We then got a big double Doomsday spot leading up to a big dive from Brutus at ringside before things returned to the ring. The D'Angelis then got a near fall on Mark Coffey before Joe Coffey showed up at ringside and dragged Stacks out of the ring to break a pen. Tony was taken down at ringside before Stacks was tossed in and Gallus picked up the win to retain their titles. And yeah, it gets 7 out of 10 from me. This was great stuff. Yeah, so happy Gallus is back as a trio, and that's kind of what won them here. Yeah, it just feels right. But yeah, the match was really good as well. Kind of went the way Gallus I expected with Gallus retaining. And so happy Joe's back in the mix. Could really elevate Gallus. And yeah, great stuff. But moving on then to the North American title match. Wesley allowed JD and Ilya to start the match, and the two took things outside before Dragon Lee and Axiom took on Wesley in the ring. Ilya and JD came back and hit Axiom and Dragon in the corner with shots before the Luchadors came back with some moves of their own. Dragon Lee then cleared the ring before facing off with Axiom in the ring. Wes came back and took out Dragon and Ilya before getting JD with a super kick and jocking Axiom on the ropes. JD then got a big dive to the outside and took down the Dragon with a Spanish fly and got a near fall on Wes. Dragunov stopped the rest count before he, Axiom and Dragon took out JD with a triple drop kick. Dragunov then was dominating in the ring while bleeding from the forehead and was about to hit a top rank move when JD came back and dropped him. Axiom wiped out JD and Ilya with a big dive to the outside before Dragon got a big double stomp on Wes on the ropes. Axiom then went for a hold on Ilya, who in turn locked on a hold on JD, and we held for a literal pile up of bodies in the ring before Wesley came in with a huge dive. Axiom then got the golden ratio on Wes before Dragunov nearly pinned Dragon. Dragunov then hit a suplex on Axiom for a near fall before both Lees unloaded on Ilya with kicks and strikes. Dragunov then still came back with some big moves and tried for the torpedo Masako on Dragon, but Wesley came in with a cardiac kick to pick up the victory. And yeah, this was an incredible match. Absolutely no doubt about it. It gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Wesley stocks at all-time high retaining. And yeah, I don't think you can really argue with the decision to retain. Just an incredible match. And yeah, he just keeps on putting banger after banger after banger after banger for that belt. And yeah, on the run of a lifetime. This was bloody great. 8 out of 10 from me. It was then time for Grayson Waller versus Johnny Gargano in an unsanctioned match. Waller attacked Gargano during his entrance. They went over to the announcer's desk and Boogie T got taken out. Back in the ring, Gargano used a trash can to beat down Waller and put Straight Joe into the lid of the trash can off a dive. Waller then got some steel chairs and beat Gargano down with them before setting up a bunch of them at ringside. Gargano then dodged the slam on the apron and suplexed Waller into the bed of chairs on the floor. Waller then powered on Gargano through a table before going out to Candice LeRae and taunting them. Gargano was hit with a steel chair before he came back with kendo stick shots. Candice jumped over the barricades and beat Waller up with a kendo stick before Gargano joined in as well. Gargano then took a jab to the eye before Waller got another trash can and put it on his head before getting a coast-to-coast for a near fall. Waller then set Gargano up on the announcer's desk and put a broken chair on his chest, but Johnny got up and tossed the chair at Waller before powerbombing him through the announcer's desk. Waller then got a low blow for a stunner for a near fall before unloading on Gargano with a steel chair. Gargano then came back with a low blow and hit back with the steel chair before wrapping out another one on his head and hitting him with another. Johnny then locked in the Gargano escape before picking up the win. Dex Loomis and Indy Hartwell came out to congratulate Gargano as the four of them celebrated as Stand and Deliver continued. And yeah, this gets 7 out of 10 from me. Good win for the babyface. And yeah, in a way, it's kind of a much needed win for Gargano with kind of his underwhelming main roster spell so far. But yeah, so happy for him. Lovely moment at the end as well. But I don't know, even though he's such a bad heel, I kind of feel like Grayson Waller could have really done with a massive elevating win here. So yeah, it gets 7 out of 10 from me. The match was fine. But yeah, still good stuff. Pretty Deadly then tried to interview Tony D and Stacks, but ended up getting a fight. Potential next feud if Pretty Deadly aren't going to the main roster. Fallon Henry and Kiana James then took on Alba Fire and Isla Dawn for the women's tag titles. The challengers attacked the champions for the bell, and Henry kicked things off with Dawn in the ring. Fire was tagged in early and isolated Henry in the corner before getting near fall. James came in with a tag and cleared the ring by sending both challengers outside and hitting a big moonsault off the apron. The Johnson hit a Doomsday of Ice but failed to get the pin. James wanted Jensen to give her something in her bag, but the boys hesitated and the challengers took advantage of the distraction by hitting a lung blow, saying it was a one-on bomb combo before picking up the win. And yeah, it's kind of what we all expected to happen. Dissension would lead to it. The new champions. And yeah, it kind of makes sense. I've been more interested in them recently, and yeah, it made sense. But I don't know, I just kind of felt like the timing on the card didn't help them, even though the match was bad. So I'll give it 6 out of 10. It was then time for Braun vs Carmelo for the NXT Championship in our main event. The match started off slow and Carmelo got an early drop kick before Braun dodged a few aerial strikes and mocked Melo. Braun had Melo in the torch rack, but Trick helped a mistake. The referee caught Trick and sent him backstage before Braun hit both Trick and Melo with a big dive to the outside. Braun then got a dive, a top rope bulldog off a near fall. Before getting a spear, but the ref got taken out as well in the process. Braun got the recliner in and Melo tapped out, but there were no officials. Williams then came back with a tight belt and hit Braun from behind before Melo almost got the win. Braun then went for the finisher, but Melo blocked it and got the nothing but net for the win. And yeah, this gets 7.5 out of 10 for me. It's a really, really good match, but I don't think it's quite as good as the North American title match, which is not going to give it an 8 out of 10. But yeah, Carmelo new champ. I kind of felt time for a new champ, and yeah, banger match to it as well. So yeah, great way to end the show. But overall this week, NXT Stand and Deliver gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, on the whole, I thought it was a really good show. Some really great matches on there. The main event, Gargano Waller, obviously North American title matches as well. And yeah, some booking decisions I think kind of made sense and had to be delivered. But yeah, just to really lead us into WrestleMania, just a really fun show. So good stuff. But anyway, guys, that's it video. Thanks so much for watching. To like, share, subscribe, subscribe, down below, follow, for daily wrestling news, subscribe to the channel, subscribe, and I'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.